Hey everyone, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this episode, I'm working on a 5x7 double page spread for my Autumn 23 mini album, and I titled this page Apple Roses and Sweater Weather. These are actually two different kinds of pages. They're not continued or connected to each other. And I'm using actual paper packs for this one. The one side will use actually some papers that I totally created myself, and then others come from a kind of autumn type paper pack that was just locally available, and the other one is from a different paper pack also with an autumn theme. So for the first one, I'm not sure if you can already guess it, but I am trying to create a little pie. What I've done is I took a circle that was about the size that I knew was going to be the size of the scalloped. I have some scalloped circle dies, and so I kind of measured the size, and then I created a little wedge as a template so that I could just go ahead and cut it from my paper. I could have just used my silhouette to cut it out, but I can save a little more paper if I just have this template, and then on the back side of the paper just pencil it in, and then use that to create the wedges there. Some of them, like I said, come from papers but that I already had, and some of them I did create, like the little there is one that has kind of a plaid pattern. So there's different ways that I used, and different products and stamps and such that I used to create these patterns. This is actually kind of a work-intensive layout, both of them, because it took me quite a while to have to create the papers and now to actually put everything together. I also created a title for this in the silhouette, and then cut it out using some of the fonts that I have there. And so here I'm just trying to finish out the circle there, and then I decide to cut one of the wedges so that I can actually pull it out a little, so that it looks like someone is taking this wedge out of a piece of cake or pie. So I baked some apple roses, and so I decided I wanted, it's not exactly pumpkin pie, it looks more, if anything, it looks more like a cupcake, but I liked the idea. This is a scrap lift that I found somewhere on Instagram, and so I decided I wanted to kind of emulate this on my page. Then I have a whole bunch of embellishments that I decided to use to create two kind of clusters. So these are all from various die cut sets that I have, and I think the flowers are actually just a simple punch that I have lying around that I keep forgetting that I have and keep forgetting to use. So, and I think some of the leaves, not these bigger leaves, but the smaller leaves are also just from a simple punch. And so I am just trying to create two clusters there, and trying to tug them. The leaves there a bit behind the scalloped circle there, just to make this stick better, and to just incorporate it into this. And I don't think I really care about actually fully mirroring things. I'm not trying to achieve that goal. So here I am just again tugging to a few more leaves there, and then I can start adding some more of the little leaves that have a contrasting green kind of color, and it's a very light green, and I'm adding those there. Again, I'm not trying to copy the exact same look. I'm just trying to make two clusters with similar elements but not exactly the same. So there's two more of these leaves to go, and then I can start adding flowers. And then, as this is about making apple roses, obviously this is an apple themed page, so I have a bunch of little apples. Some of them are just simply die cut from cardstock, just red cardstock, but others I die cut from white cardstock and then just used stamping ink, I think, if not watercolor, to color the apple and give it a little bit of shine and shimmer. So now I'm ready. There's this outline. This is for if you wanted to have like just the inside of the apple, but I thought it's actually cute enough to add the outline of the apple, so I decided to keep that outline separate. Here are my two photos for this, and then here comes the title work, and it says apple. I'm adding the some bits were actually cut together and kept together, and then some of the letters were separated as I cut them, which was just fine. I just need to glue them together. And then so here I'm basically adding the photos, gluing them to the page, and then I didn't want the title to fully cover up the clusters there at the top, so I have to be careful with placement and everything. But as I also kind of designed this page, even though I'm using physical products this time, not any digital products, but I did design it in Silhouette Studio because I needed to know how to partition the wedges and all that. So and then obviously the title. So everything was already worked out in Silhouette, and I had an idea where to place things, and I knew things were going to fit because I had it all in the exact, or pretty much the exact size as it is on this actual layout already planned out in Silhouette. So, or Silhouette Studio, I should say. Here are the little flowers that I used to punch, and I decided to put two flowers, I think, in one cluster and one flower, no, just one flower in one cluster and two flowers in another cluster. So, and again, I'm adding these two other apples there, and here is the second flower, and finally there's that little apple still that needs to go. So here I decide to cluster everything a bit more closer together, so it actually turns into a cluster rather than just a random collection of embellishments. So I like to have everything like a unit to be connected somehow. Here's that other apple piece that I had, and then there is this apple wedge that I can still also use and incorporate in my page. This apple here can go in that corner, and then I just have to find the spot for the second apple wedge that I also cut there. Now I'm ready to move on to the next page. The next page is using a completely different scrapbooking paper pack. So the colors are not coordinated or anything, but I didn't care very much at this point. I had kind of gotten tired of always using the Welcome Autumn collection that I'd used for all my other pages there. So I was happy to just go ahead and use another one. So here you see me use my card to run around the edge there so that I can make the papers pop a little more. I think it's easier to forget when I just use actual physical paper packs. So here I ran my sewing machine along the edge of that one, so that's why I only needed to kind of distress one edge of this paper strip and not both. And then I have all these little sweaters. The large dark one, the one that I'm just putting glue on, is actually from one of my die cut sets. So that was just it already comes with a pattern. I'm not sure if that is actually visible in the camera, but it does come with the die cut. The metal dies already add a pattern to it. But then I also wanted to have some smaller sweaters that I wanted to kind of disperse around the page, and I wanted them to look like sweaters. So I traced a sweater in my Silhouette Studio and then just cut it from plain cardstock. And then I had some border stamps that I decided to use then. The hat actually, I had a knitted pattern, a stamp in my stash, and so I decided for the hats to use that knitted pattern. I thought that was really cute. Then I also had created the title there, Sweater Weather, but I wasn't too excited about it because I felt in hindsight that the background paper was just a very heavy pattern, and it kind of got lost. So I decided to I had originally planned to just keep it plain white, but the white was just not popping off the page and it was hardly to see. And so I decided to just use some of my felt markers to just color in the sweater part of the title there. And I think at least it draws a little more attention. It's not ideal, but it's what it is. So here's my second sweater, and I used that to, I used just a simple border stamp to make it look like it has it's a sweater, and then I used the knitted pattern stamp that I have for the not the mitten, the scarf and the hat. And then I had a few more bits and pieces that I created. I have these tiny little acorns that I wanted to use and scatter around. Then I had this, that comes with this knitting pattern. It's a whole set. It comes with this with a stamp and then some die cut pieces where you can cut to make them look like a sweater. So there were these tiny little trees, and I decided to use those for my sweater. And then I had leftovers because it was a strip with these little trees, so I decided to just scatter the trees around the page there, and I thought it turned out pretty cute with everything that I have going on. So trying to create a few clusters there with scattered items and make this page look cute. Also, the camera comes from one of my die cut pieces that I just colored in, I think, with watercolor. And all I need to do now is to add my word bits that I always use. I do create these word bits myself because they're I can make sure they're in the sizes that I want them for my projects, and they're easy enough to create in if you have a word processing document. So I try to use these word strips to give me added interest on my pages. So I am going to finish off the other page there with my word bits. These word bits are also available as freebie on my blog mistyhilltops.com along with a lot of other freebies, so go check that out if you like. And I am going to leave you with some more close-ups after this is finished. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.